All right, so this is the ancient artifact that you guys saw on my channel a few days ago. This is actually a desktop that belongs to my mom. She used it, well, she used to use it, but something went wrong with it, apparently. She didn't really give me much of a description of what was going on, other than it didn't come on. I know it does turn on, like this unit does get power because the front light will come on and everything like that. So I'm going to try and figure out what's wrong with it, see if I can hopefully fix it, because yeah, this thing is pretty ancient. Let me show you guys the sticker on this. A little bit of a blast from the past. So, can you see that okay? That Windows XP, it's Windows Vista capable, but it's designed for Windows XP. This is an old thing. And I think up here, let me drag it down a bit so that you guys can see the specs of this. So yeah, you've got this dual core processor, 200, wait, is that 250 gig hard drive? Oh wow, that actually sounds kind of big. Actually, no, that's not that big, considering that this is a desktop. I'm thinking about the first laptop that I ever had. It only had something like 50 gigs inside of it. Memory, so 1 gigabyte, 1024 megabytes of DDR2 memory. I think this actually has been upgraded to 2 gigabytes though, because I saw 4 RAM sticks in it. Let's see, let's take one of these babies out and see what kind of memory we're working with here. All right, this thing is dusty. Yeah, so it's gonna have, let's get that to focus. So it's gonna have 2 gigs inside of it, because of course, see, there's a 512 megabyte module. And it's got 4 of them, so just do the math. All right, let's reseat that. So like I said, I know that the unit gets power. The LED turns on. The fans do turn on. They were choking a bit at her house because I'm gonna guess this thing has probably never really properly been dusted out since it was built back 14 years ago or so. I dusted it out, as you guys saw. I mean, it could still use a better dusting. I need something a little bit stronger than the canned air. All right, plug our power back in. Plug this back in. I'll be surprised if this hard drive is still working, because this is going to be a real old hard drive. Let me see, what is this? It's a Hitachi hard drive. All right, not sure. I mean, I can't really speak to what their quality would have been back then. This is also a PATA hard drive, in case you're wondering what this giant ribbon is, because obviously that's not a SATA cable. This is a desktop SATA cable right there. This is the type that I have in my desktop. So you can see, obviously, just like pretty much all technology, it's gotten thinner and it's gotten faster. Because these things, they affect your airflow. I mean, you see it's right in the path of the fan right here. I mean, it's only a dual core processor, so I don't think cooling is too big of a deal for it. All right, so got it plugged into a monitor. Because that's the other thing, I'm not even entirely sure whether it was this computer or the monitor, and honestly, could have just been the monitor. It seemed like it worked, but you know. Let's power her on. See what we get. Show you guys the screen over here. So that's one of my monitors. Okay, so we do get a BIOS splash screen. That's more than I had at her house. And okay, so we're seeing something about an NVIDIA boot agent. I wonder if that's what this chip is all about here, because this chip, I don't know if that's supposed to be the graphics card, because it does have a PCI Express card. So I don't know if maybe there's like an NVIDIA boot chip or something. I don't know. I've never heard of a boot chip. Okay, so it looks like, well, it also sounds like, I don't know if my phone's microphone is going to pick that up, but it's making a bit of a whine noise. And the only components on here that I think can make that noise, I mean, it could be the fan, but it doesn't really sound like fan whine to me. Also, it goes in and out while the fan keeps going. So I'm going to guess that's the hard drive. Okay. Let's, yeah, and it even says here, disk boot failure. Okay, so something might be wrong with this drive. Let me fix my camera. Sorry about any type of weird camera angles and adjusting. I kind of have the most ghetto camera setup right now to film my workspace. All right, let's turn this girl off. So let's just make sure everything's hooked up properly. Okay, that's in there. Oh, look at this. Look at that gnarly dust bunny that I just pulled out from there. Ugh. I need to take this over to my buddy's house or someone who's got an air compressor. I think my buddy's got an air compressor. All right, let's see how it's attached to the board. Oh, okay, look at this. This is the same. Yep. I might have just found the problem, or at least a problem. Let me show you guys this before I put it back in. So you see, that's our two PATA connections there on the motherboard. So we've got this one here, which goes to, I'm guessing, the CD drive. Yeah, that's going to be the DVD drive. But then this one here, it's like it's not seated properly. So let's push that in. And that's the one for, for that hard drive there, that PATA hard drive. Okay, so it feels like it's in now. Looks like it's in. You see that Hitachi hard drive there. So let's see, now that our cable is seated properly, let's see if we can actually get into an operating system. Again, I think I'd be a little surprised if this hard drive still works after all these years. Although, the thing is with hard drives, this might not be true, so take this with a grain of salt, but I believe the higher the density, like storage space of a hard drive gets, the more difficult it is to keep them working a really long time. So in a way, this sucker, because its sectors are so physically huge, because they're not shrunk down to these like wicked small quantum sizes, might actually work. All right, let's see what we get. Turn it on again. I'll film the screen so we can see the BIOS splash, and then hopefully an OS booting. Hey, look at that. Oh man, that's nostalgic. And again, I don't know if you guys are actually able to hear this. Let me put my phone right next to the hard drive so maybe you guys can hear. You hear that? That's the sound of data. That's the sound of data coursing through your computer's digital veins. All right, so I got the camera mounted back where it's supposed to be. Let's log in and see if this thing is actually working. All right. So I'm curious, first of all, to figure out what that NVIDIA card is all about. Oh snap! It looks like this has multiple drives. Or no, these are okay, removable drives. Yeah, look at this smart media. Nobody's using that. All right, system information. Is it going to tell me anything about an NVIDIA card in it? All right, so it's running Windows XP Media Center Edition, version 2002. So this is an 18-year-old operating system we're running on here. Look at this, an AMD Outlaw dual-core processor clocked at 2.21 gigahertz, 1.87 gigs of RAM. Now, that's totally fine because Windows XP wasn't a complete piece of shit like Windows 10 is. All right, like if you look here, okay, I'm only using 202 megs of RAM. All right, and I've got, what is this, 2 windows open, 3 windows open? All right, this is less RAM than most modern Linux distributions would be using. All right, the only way that you would even get lower than this on Linux would probably be Arch with XFCE, and even then you might be pushing it a bit. I'm not sure, it's been a little while since I've run XFCE, but 202 megs is impressive. This is, open up your task manager if you run Windows 10, and I guarantee you're going to be using at least 10 times as much. All right, so everything seems like it's working okay so far. Do I want to give this thing networking? Do I want to try and go on the internet? Maybe. Let's save that for another video, just to see what on the internet actually works if we use Windows XP. I'd be curious to see if I could get a screen recorder working on this. Let's see, what, how do I check my screen resolution? Just see what it's actually using. Oh, okay, so we're not even using a 16:9 aspect ratio. Let's see, is it possible to get that on here? Oh, 1920 by 1080. All right, let's do this. Is it gonna work? Hey, look at that. Yes. Has anybody ever seen this before? Well, I'm sure somebody's seen it before, but have you guys ever seen this before? This is Windows XP in stunning 1080p. Well, actually, I think I'm filming this in 4K. What is this? Oh, Mom, you got some bullshit installed on your computer. This fucking search with Google bullshit. No, fuck you. We're not doing that. All right. Let me see what the task manager is reporting now. Has my usage shot up? No, it only shot up an extra 14 megs. They're running it in HD. All right, let's do something important. Let's do something important as a real benchmark for this computer. There we go. That's what I'm looking for. You guys remember this game? Oh, I used to love this game when I was a kid. All right, let me see. The controls are Z, and yep, I still remember the controls. All right, so I'd say if this thing can survive around a pinball, it's probably still good. At least as far as everything but the hard drive goes. I mean, the hard drive, it's mechanical. It's probably almost 2 decades old, so that might have to be replaced one day. I've got no idea how much PATA hard drives cost. I don't think I've ever purchased a PATA hard drive before. I wonder if I can adapt it. Well, actually, what am I talking about? This thing does have SATA ports on it. I don't know if they got picked up when I was showing the actual guts of this computer, but it does have SATA capability. So in case, you're like either, I guess, not a 90s kid or not even a 2000s kid, or if you have been living under a rock, this is Space Cadet Pinball, aka the best game there is on Windows XP. Actually, I don't know if that's necessarily true, because you could have gotten other games. Like, they had the demo disc thing. I remember I used to get those from some type of game magazine. They had them for different consoles and stuff, but I didn't really have consoles when I was a kid. I had a pretty good computer, though, because, you know, my mom had a good computer. So it was just like a family computer type deal. And yeah, I would play like demos of games, flash games online, like go to miniclip.com, and damn, I can't even remember all the game sites that I used to go to. Like early 2000s internet, though, that was my shit when I was a little kid. Early 2000s internet, and then if you didn't have internet, you played this, which was almost just as good. Doing pretty crap at it, though. I actually forget like what the main objective of this is. I mean, get points obviously, but there's like certain places that you're supposed to put the pinball in a certain order to like do the thing, and there's like an underlying game to this, which I guess is the case with all types of pinball games. I mean, I've been to a couple of arcades that have had pinball before, and like some diners that had it too. And there's always like some type of underlying theme behind it. It's such a shame that modern operating systems want to add so much bloat to it. Because you really have to admit, even if there's some like weird crap that you absolutely need Windows 10 to do that you just straight up can't do in XP, or you straight up can't do in Linux, the amount of performance that you get per megabyte of RAM used, per clock cycle on the CPU, you know, per any metric that you want to use for how much usefulness they actually manage to pack into such a small amount of code. I mean, this is way better. This is way better. Linux is way better than this Windows 10 crap. All right, I want to see if let's look at the control panel, because I really want to find out what the NVIDIA thing is all about. Let's see. Automatic updates. I got to do a video of this thing on the internet, but I think there might be some nonsense installed on here, so I got to see what my mom actually has on here and remove some of the nonsense. Okay, is this going to tell me what type of graphics card is in here? No. I don't see a device manager. Man, it's been so long since I've ever messed around with XP. Oh yeah, you can change this. I want the old school. Yeah, there we go. So I just noticed that my phone is apparently limiting me to just 10 minutes of video. So I'm just recording this to let you guys know to leave a like on the video and give me some more ideas for what I can do with this computer, because I have to test it a bit before I give it back to my mom. I want to make sure I'm actually giving her a desktop that'll work. Give me some ideas too for a Linux distribution that's very similar to XP that I can install on here, because she has it in her mind that she wants to use Windows XP and actually connect with the internet. And as you might be able to see down here, this is some nonsense that she must have installed, some like add-on search bar thing, and there's like, yeah, like this thing here. I don't know who this chick is. This chick's probably some weirdo trying to steal my shekels. So yeah, give me an idea of an actual secure operating system I can throw on here. And yeah, peace out, guys.